experience. As far as they're concerned, they don't know if they're online or offline. They don't know if they have a spotty connection or what. They just have this nice continuity to their experience, which is awesome and one of the really powerful things that you get from Service Worker. OK, so my app is now working offline, which is awesome. But admittedly, most of us, when we know we're already offline, we don't like go and open Chrome and expect to find a bunch of content inside of there, right? We're kind of trained to, if you know you're offline, you're sort of trained to expect the offline dinosaur if you open Chrome. And instead, we've been trained to look to home screen apps for content if we know that we're offline. And this is interesting because the app that we've built at this point, it basically meets all the same criteria as those home screen apps. So why don't we just see about getting it on the user's home screen? And to do this, I'm going to use web app install banners. And if you haven't seen those before, it's basically a little prompt coming from the browser which asks the user if they would like to save the application to their home screen. Now, I'm curious, how many of you know about the Add to Home Screen button? Show of hands? All right, keep them up, keep them up. How many of you use the Add to Home Screen button? I would say have used it more than 3 times in the past month. OK, all right, all the hands go down. Yeah. OK, why is that? Well, one, I mean, the UI is a little buried and a little hard to find. But two, you don't really know if that thing that you're adding to home screen is going to be a good experience, right? Like, is it going to work offline? I don't know. Like, I can't tell just by looking at it. And so one of the things that's cool about web app install banners is there's a set of criteria that your application needs to meet before the browser will actually prompt the user and ask them if they would like to save it. So to trigger a web app install banner, your app must have a web app manifest, which we'll talk about in just a bit. It's got to have a registered service worker, and we're getting that basically for free using those platinum elements, which is awesome. It's got to be served over HTTPS. And lastly, it's got to be visited twice by the user with at least 5 minutes in between. And I put a little asterisk there because that last heuristic might change. We're still sort of like dialing it to figure out what is the sweet spot for user engagement. But there is at least some degree of user engagement that needs to happen before it'll trigger that banner. So most of these are self-explanatory. But let's look at the web app manifest, because that might be new for folks. So web app manifest is really just a simple JSON file. It's got fields for your application's name, the icons that it